5 different things you can get expelled for. And those are typically like fire, arson, or weapon. Just it just depends. It's 5
Sure.
different things. It just depends.
Sure. And that leads me to my next question. And then I see Thin Bad jumping at the bits. Do you find that you have any more challenges in this virtual environment with your clientele as opposed to other schools?
Mm, no, not really. Just getting contact. Contact is the biggest problem with anything.
Sure, sure.
But that's all right. I know. You said your son calls his teachers call. I know they don't have to worry about a thing. They said, "Oh, we're gonna call Miss Banks. We know it. We know he's gonna be all right. Because she's handling all business over there. So, and he probably scared to death. He's like, I better do right because this is not gonna be good if I don't. You'll embarrass me out here." But I keep trying to think about how, when this ends and how does this, what effect, if any, of all of this stuff will have? Will they able, because kids are resilient for the most part. So while we stress out about a whole lot of stuff, kids they may gripe immediately or initially, but they eventually kind of get used to it and they fall into a groove and they just handle it. And we sit back and worry about, boy, I hope this is going to be all right. And this is all over with. They're going to have it. Everything going to be good. So, because that's what happened to Chief. They put him in school underground when he was young coming up. They let him up. And when he saw sunlight, it was a beautiful thing. They didn't know how it was going to be, but it was a new thing they tried and it worked.
Well,
they had to send him way across country.
Well, I only got through 3rd grade math. That's why I couldn't help my kids. So,
well, it was good we didn't have COVID. That's right, because my daughter's showing me stuff in the 6th grade. I'm like, I ain't do this till I was in the 10th, 11th grade. Why are y'all doing this now? Can't you wait a few years or something?
That's right. So,
but it's like they just throw more stuff at the kids. They're like, well, let's see. They're a sponge. Let's see if they can do it. They don't know that they're not supposed to be able to do it, so they just work it out.
Shannon, how are you all preparing the parents for next year if this possibly goes into next semester? Are you offering, I guess, tutorials for the parents? Are you sending stuff home saying, hey, you better be prepared because little Andre and whoever else, they're going to be sitting at the same desk at least until April of next year?
We haven't started preparing. We're still trying to get through this year, trying to figure out how we're going to end out this school year. That's a good idea, though, but we haven't got that far yet. We haven't finished out this week. We really don't know how we're going to close down the school year. We're trying to figure out how we're going to put the grades in because technically we really didn't have a 4th quarter.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's a lot of unanswered questions.
What are some of the biggest concerns that you heard from parents when you went into the virtual environment? Did you get people saying, hey, I can't log in, my kids are really off? How do you calm my kid down when he's in school or she's in school? What kind of concerns did you get as you were working through this process?
More or less, a lot of the kids didn't know their emails, so they were calling the school to have me reset their emails and things like that. Pretty much the kids are logging in on their own because we have middle and high school there. So, with the new generation, that's pretty much what they're doing anyway, is logging in. But if they're not using their school account, that's probably what they're having more problems with.
And you didn't get any feedback from parents? I don't say a lot of, but you didn't get any feedback from parents saying, I'm losing my mind, or how do I work through this English stuff, or what is this algebra stuff? Can you help me?
Yes, we do. And once again, our teachers call a lot and explain a lot of stuff to the kids and to the parents. So pretty much they wasn't understanding that the kids really need to do it. It's really up to the kids to get their work done. Mm-hmm. So if they don't understand something, they can reach out to any of our teachers. They can email them, they can call them, but emails works faster than anything.
And for the parent that was just, I know Thin Bad was kidding earlier, but for that parent that was really sort of at their wits' end, because as children do, they'll ask you a question at the 11th hour and you can't get a hold of Miss Banks. What were you telling those parents to sort of calm them down? Because I know this was kind of stressful, not only for the students, but for the parents also.
Pretty much just be patient. I mean, like, we're not going to just intentionally fail anyone. We can't justify it. Long as everyone's trying, we working together, we're going to work with you.
And you tell them that if you don't calm down, you are going to jail. So I ain't got to put up with this. That's right. You better go back in that back room and pour you a little something to drink. Tell him what you gonna do. I'll pull this down. I'm gonna take him downstairs. That boy, sure. Tell me all of this stuff. I don't know how to do this new math. Michael, tell him what I done said.
Boy, you don't have any sense, man.
I don't, but I'm telling you, this what you're hearing tonight is a result of being home with a sixth grader trying to do their work. And when you get on there and you say, they teaching you all how to dance in school? What's all this YouTube? Turn this off. I mean, and they can tell you anything. And if they get the right parent, they can tell the right parent anything. You're like, So you don't want to stress them out too bad, but you don't want them getting over on you either. You don't want to look like what's a good balance? Like, is it one of the main things I think that school helps with when they're in school is a routine. It helps build that routine. And then when that routine gets broken, it's like, well, they're home, but how much time do they, I mean, I guess, is there something to the importance of just maintaining that routine, even when they're home? Like, okay, a certain amount of time a day, kind of keep that up, because that I think makes a lot of difference in terms of, being able to kind of maintain that discipline and sticking through that schoolwork. But I fail miserably at it myself, because sometimes you just don't feel like it. You're just like, go ahead, go outside, play, turn on Xbox. I don't care. Count how many games you play. I
keep a routine with my son. Like, he wakes up, get dressed, brush your teeth, eat breakfast. And then we start, like, when he's online, I'm online with work. So we do like 4 hours straight, take a break, and we might come back and do like an hour and a half later. But yeah, we have a routine. If I don't have a routine with him, I'm all over the place. Not him. I'm all over the place.
I'm outside with my drawers on my head, running around doing cartwheels, talking nasty to the chickens.
That's just nasty. What? That's just nasty. Don't even want to visualize that. That's just nasty.
I had pants on too, man. I had my drawers on my head.
You end up in a line. That's where you gonna end up.
No, I wasn't naked.
But that's a good point. And to vary the routine, what other types of things could you offer to some of the parents that are just at their wits' end, like then bad? It's like, okay, she's been here, she's losing her mind, and I need to just break this up a little bit so that I don't put my hands on her.
Walk away from it. It's homeschool. You can set your own hours. You can do it how you feel. You can walk away and come back.
Now, that's interesting. I was sort of under the impression they had to be on there between a certain time, between like 8 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon or something like that. So they can do it whenever they feel like it?
Pretty much. Like, our teachers give the assignment, and it's up to them to, turn it back in. They're not just sitting in front of the computer with that teacher or one-on-one, or with a class like a Zoom class or anything like that. They might meet online like twice out of the week, but that's a certain time. But after that, you're pretty much on your own.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I thought that they just had that certain time. So, well, that's good to know too, because I'm sure many parents are looking for ways to sort of spice it up, because some of the systems are ending next week, like Clark County is, and maybe on the East Coast they have another couple of weeks to go, and we reach an international audience, so maybe it's different in certain cities, but hopefully if it's similar to what you all are doing here in Clark County, that parents listening may try to break it up a little bit Do a little bit in the morning, do a little bit in the evening, or maybe, next week we'll do everything in the evening as opposed to doing it during the daytime. Sort of break it up a little bit. Is that the kind of stuff that you recommend?
I do. I do. Break it up. Walk away, come back.
Now, have you had any parents to just call and say, Ms. Banks, if you don't come get this child, there's going to be a homicide?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Oh, that's good. You hear that thing, Bad?
Yeah, I heard it. That's it. She said you just walk. I was on the walk away part. I was with her until she said come back. I was good. She said just get up, walk away. I was like, amen. I'm out. I'm good. I was free. I was out. I was on my way out the door. And she said, but then come back. I'm like, oh damn.
So as one of the end users, both of you have children that are in the virtual environment. What have been some of the challenges that you all have faced just with routine and keeping your student interested? And then I have a question from off the chat line.
At first, with my son, he felt like this was vacation. We don't have to go to school today. I'm sleeping in.
Oh, he was chilling.
Video, no, we're not doing that, son. You have a routine, we're gonna stick to it. So that was the first challenge. That was pretty much my biggest challenge.
That's still my challenge.
Been bad?
It's still my challenge. I mean, because I'm just not that one. I'm still shell shocked from me having to do homework when I was little. My father was leaning on me, and when a voice gets raised, I go, that's PTSD for me. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't think anymore. I go off in the corner somewhere. But because you just try to find different ways to. You also try to find other learning activities or something else to do, around the house. The problem is that you can't go anywhere else. That's the problem. You're just kind of like in the house, get in the car, drive around, come back to the house and do it again. And then we get up the next day and we go do it again. And I was like, oh, this is more on me. This my adult onset ADD is wearing me out. I can't handle it. And I got it going on. I'm having a hard time. I want to medal. I'm crying over here. I'm crying.
I have an interesting question again from Phil, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase this a little bit. But do you find, Shannon, that some of the young people who are coming from the at-risk environment, do you find that they've had additional difficulties because they came from a challenged environment anyway, and school was kind of their outlet, and now they can't leave that environment? Are you finding some of those young people are having a little more difficulty getting their lessons than some of the other children that may not have the same challenges?
That's a good question. I am finding that they are getting into more trouble. Now that they're not coming to school, they have more time on their hands, and you would think since they should be in the house that this wouldn't be, but they're getting into more trouble because they
more time.
That's a great question.
And
yes.
So
yes.
Are the local authorities alerting you that I just locked up Johnny Jones the other day? How are you finding out that some of your students are having that kind of difficulty while we're in this virtual situation?
They're contacting the school.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The students are, or the law enforcement?
Or juvenile detention. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much more or less juvenile detention, then the parents follow up.
And do you offer any additional assistance when you're finding out that perhaps little Johnny is struggling? How does that look? And then we'll go to break because we have some other chat questions for you.
We have social workers that are going out making visits to the homes. Once they get locked up, we're out of the picture because they're there. But if a parent call and say, hey, can you have our social worker call, we would reach out, or if we can stop by, if they need something and we have it at the school, we'll take it to them.
Okay, very good. Well, what we're going to do is we have some more questions